Good evening, good evening, good evening. It is Thursday night, which can mean only one thing. It's time for day number 3 of the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. You can hear the noise behind me. This is going to be an absolute cracker of a night. We were spoiled yesterday with the Xbox One competitors, but now we have the very, very serious boys and girls of the PC sim racing community, and we are getting ready to go underway with qualifying in heat number 1. Let's head over and join the stream live and join in to the action in just a second. There we go. So 5-minute qualifying is underway for the first session of the night, and this is how it is going to shape up. We've got 5-minute qualifying session and then a 12-lap race. We have 5 heats over the course of the evening, and because of a couple of dropouts in this one, we're only going to have 7 competitors taking part in this first race. But my goodness me, do not go anywhere tonight, because we have got such a wealth of talent coming up, and race number 5 is not going to be one that you're going to want to miss. Now, an important update on tonight. As per last week, I'm sure a lot of you took part, and I'm sure all of you took part in it, but at 8 o'clock tonight we will be pausing the broadcast. We'll just leave it on a certain screen at 8 o'clock tonight so that you can all take part in the nationwide Clap for Our Carers event. We very much encourage you to take part. It is kind of why we're all here doing this rather than being at the track this weekend, and I think it's very, very important that we give thanks to all of our key workers, not just tonight but as always. So I'll give you a little bit of a heads up around about sort of 3 minutes, 2 minutes to 8. We'll pause the broadcast, we'll keep it live, and then we'll be back with you. So 2.5 minutes left to go in our very first qualifying session tonight. Just having a look at who we've got here. In fact, now would be a very, very good time to let you have a little look at who we have got in this first session. We were scheduled to have 9 drivers in this first one. We've had to have a couple of them drop out, so who you will see is going to come up on screen just in a second. There we go. So PC qualifier heat 1, we have got 7 cars in at the moment then. As you can see there, Luke Kidsley has been so awesome. He's entered himself twice into that opening heat, so obviously he's only going to appear once tonight. We've got Greg Tomno, Luke Kidsley, David Simon, Blair McConaughey is out there as well. We've got Mike Spalding, Keir Riley and Craig Mays. I believe Rajan Chand is our only non-competitor so far. So we have got 7 out of the 8 that are there on screen. We'll have a little look back to qualifying just now. So at the moment then, it is Craig Mays who is at the top of the times with a 54.858. Now I can tell you a little bit more about some of these drivers, because on the weeks leading up to the SMRC event, we ran a couple of events with the Canberra Media Open Challenge. So some of the drivers that you'll see here tonight were taking part in those series of events, but 44 seconds left on the clock, and we've already got down to the 54s. Look at that though, 0.02 of a second between Craig Mays in first place and Keir Riley down in second place there. 54.858 for Craig Mays, who I thought was having a bit of a moment there, but that wasn't. That was Greg Tom, G-Force, that we saw on board there with just now, and that was a little bit of a moment there coming down the hill at Duffus. But as I said, 0.02 of a second separating your top 2. In third place it is Luke Kidsley, and then in fourth place you will see David Simon. Fifth place at the moment is going to be Mike Spalding, and then at 6th place that is going to be G-Force, that is Greg Tom, and at the back of the grid is Blair McConaughey, some 2 seconds off of qualifying. So there we go, qualifying is complete. Some of the last laps getting put in just now, and it is indeed Craig Mays who extends it. Now I'm just trying to see, both of them actually went faster there. Craig Mays doing a 54.6 and Keir Riley actually being bumped down because moving up into second place right at the last gasp there. OTL Dave Alex 4, David Simon moving up into second place there. So it's a 1-2-3 for the 54-second gang. 0.2 of a second separating 3 people. And then you've got half a second separating 5 drivers. This is what I meant about it starting to get very, very serious. So there you go then. Craig Mays takes pole. It's going to be David Simon in second place. It's going to be Keir Riley in third. And then it is Mike Spalding in fourth place. You've got Luke Kidsley in fifth. And then in sixth place it's Greg Tom. Seventh place is Blair McConaughey. Without further ado then, ladies and gentlemen, let's get underway with race number 1 of the night. Heat number 1. All the drivers, I'm delighted to say, have made it onto the grid then. The lights are on. And away we go then. It's a cracking start there from second place. David Simon, Keir Riley getting a great start, and a very bad start there for your leader, Craig Mays. And they're almost 3 wide as they come into Duffus Dip for the first time in Vaskin in heat number 1 tonight. It's going to be Keir Riley on the inside, down towards McIntyre's. There's contact, and that is Mike Spalding getting shown the gravel on the exit of McIntyre's there. Wow, big action already, and we've got a 3-car battle going for the lead. Let's stay on board with your leader just now then. And that is, of course, David Simon, who moves up into the lead, because Craig May got a terrible start off the line there. Keir Riley is going to make a move on the inside. He thinks better of it. He's got a slow down penalty. That's what's happened there. And at the end of lap 1 then, it's going to be David Simon from Craig Mays, and then Keir Riley, as we see a little bit of contact at the back there. That was Blair McConaughey coming into contact with Luke Kidsley as they duke it out towards the back of the grid though. Back with your leading group, and it's a second of a gap that your leader David Simon has opened up just now. Craig Mays desperately trying to hold on to that second place, but you've got Keir Riley on his tails, chomping at the bit, and Keir has got a lot of pace, but I think Craig Mays has kind of met his match right there, and the two of them are really going to have to work together to try and get past that. Keir Riley is going to move to the outside there to try and get a nice run into the hairpin there, but I think that both of them are well and truly matched. As we see David Simon just sliding that car around. It's a mistake there from Craig Mays on the exit of the hairpin there. And unfortunately Craig Mays' connection is a little bit unstable, so you're going to see him do some very strange things. The car jerking about as we get the data from his computer. But a big moment there, and I don't know if there was contact, but that is going to be Keir Riley off into the grass at the exit of Duffus. He joins right back onto the track there and almost wipes out Luke Kidsley there. And there's contact again as Keir Riley desperate to try and make his way through there. But hard lines there for Keir Riley. Gets put all the way down into 6th place there. Meanwhile, back with your leader then, and that means that David Simon is absolutely off like a scalded cat, 2 seconds ahead of Craig Mays, and that also means that Mike Spalding is hunting down Craig Mays here right now, who has a slow down penalty. And let's see what is happening with Keir Riley. Keir Riley is absolutely furious right now with who is that in front of him? That is Luke Kidsley. I've got a feeling this is going to get returned. Let's just keep our eye on this as they start lap 4. And I wonder if the favour is going to be repaid by Luke Kidsley on Keir Riley there. It was a little bit aggressive, and you could see the frustration just pouring through from Keir as he tries to fight his way back up. Have a look at the pace though being shown by Mike Spalding down in 3rd place. He was 2 seconds faster than 2nd place there of Craig Mays. Craig Mays going wide and getting another slow down penalty there. And I wonder how that is going to affect him as we see Keir Riley getting a slow down penalty as well. And Keir Riley has a technical issue. Keir Riley retires from the race. And I wonder if frustration just getting a little bit too much for Keir Riley there. as he retires from the race. Meanwhile, lap 5 then out of 12 here, and your leader is David Simon. OTL Dave Alex 4 making his way round through McIntyre's. 54.991 that last time round, but look at the pace from Craig Mays there, 54 flat, and he is absolutely responding with everything that he can right now. We've got 6 cars left in this first heat, and remember, it's all about the first 2. So this is going to be set itself up to a cracking finale here, because that gap is now down to under a second. Would you believe it? The gap from your leader, who was looking so comfortable out there in first place, David Simon, is now under intense pressure of second place there, and a big moment coming out of the hairpin there for David Simon. Craig Mays with a bit of a slowdown penalty. I think there you can see the exclamation to the right hand side there. Well, this is setting itself up very, very nicely, because we've got 6 laps left to go here. And there you go, Craig Mays right on the tail of your leader. Let's go on board then with Craig Mays. And again, you can see his connection isn't very stable, so he does jerk about quite a bit, but he is absolutely catching on to the tail of the leader there. Excellent run out from Clarks. He's got the toe. It's going to be a case of making a move down in towards the hairpin. Here they come. Is he going to make a late lunge on the inside? No, he thinks better of it. Just late onto the brakes, and he's going to get the toe up the hill towards the main straight there. Wow, this is epic, epic stuff here, and we're away to start lap 7 of Heat 1 here. We didn't see any of this in the PS4 heats earlier on in the week. Craig Mays getting another slowdown penalty there. He is hunting down that leader to within an inch of his life right now. Let's have a look at what it looks like for Craig Mays. And he's had to absolutely back off the throttle there to give up for that time penalty, and that has ruined any chances that he's had of that one there. He goes back down 3.5 seconds. That now puts him back into the clutches of Mike Spalding for 3rd place there. Well, this is bubbling up quite nicely actually, because David Simon now again has a 3.5 second lead, but having a look further back, that's Greg Tom and Luke Kidsley, who are very, very close right now as they come down through Duffus, and I think that's going to be a bit of a slowdown penalty, and a huge moment there for Luke Kidsley. He slides out at the bottom of Duffus, and that is going to mean that Blair McConaughey can sneak up into 3rd place, and indeed look at Luke Kidsley trying desperately to get out of the gravel there, and he's going to take a little cone as a memento of his trip down to the beach. Well, that almost certainly writes off the race for Luke Kidsley. He's going to keep going anyway. As we see our race leader David Simon making his way through it, and so far now he is looking fairly comfortable there. 58 second lap that last time round. So what can he do as he comes across the line here? 54.883 is back on the pace there. I wonder if he had a bit of a slowdown penalty as well. Track limits are such a thing here in Project Cars 2. They are incredibly strict. So whereas on a normal race weekend you'd go and enjoy and see the likes of the Minis and the Formula 4s being very, very liberal with their attacks over on the chicane and down saying at McIntyre's and at Clark's, you don't get any of that in Project Cars 2. It will not allow you to breach anything of the track limits there. For instance, Craig Mays went a little bit wide over the exit at Clark's there, and I do think that that might have given him a little bit of a slowdown penalty if he wasn't more careful. Meanwhile, your leader has a big oopsie coming out of the hairpin on lap 9, and that is not what you want, because that brings Craig Mays to within a second again. And this all changes in the blink of an eye. This is only Heat 1, ladies and gentlemen. We've got much more of this to come tonight. And if you want to get involved in this, if you have a copy of Project Cars 2, it is completely free to take part in the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. Simply head over to smrc.co.uk and get yourself signed up for next week's event, which is going to be at Oulton Park in the Renault Clio Cup. Wow. Craig Mays is throwing that Formula rookie sideways in his desperate attempt to catch up with David Simon, and gets a slowdown penalty for his efforts there as well. The pair of them, I think, have got a slowdown penalty there. Yep, because Craig Mays does take it, but he has been... in fact, no, I tell a lie. It was David Simon who's got the slowdown penalty there, and that just hands the lead straight over to Craig Mays. So, lap 10, and we've seen the unthinkable happen. David Simon was commanding the lead of that race and had a good 2-3 second lead up until that final lap, lap 10 there. Sensational stuff. This is how quickly things can happen here on Project Cars. Luke Kidsley, give you an update on him. He is now 16 seconds back and unlikely to make up any places whatsoever. However, David Simon still desperately trying to catch onto the back of Craig Mays there, and he is going to have to slow down, otherwise he's going to get a time penalty given to him if he doesn't serve that slowdown there. We can see Craig Mays making his way out of the hairpin for the penultimate time. He's going to come up the start finish straight to start lap number 12, the final lap here on Heat 1 under the Beaton's Building Supply Bridge for the final time, and onto the anchors. And it's been a storming performance from Craig Mays. But he's under real pressure now from David Simon on this final lap here. Oh, and there's contact! David Simon, I think Craig Mays was serving a slowdown penalty and he didn't pull fast enough off the racing line. That is what is going to happen when you've got a much faster car behind you and he's gone from hero to zero in the space of half a second. Contact from David Simon knocks him out, and I can hear the virtual Steve Burns shaking his head in dismay at that one. That was a needless bit of contact. And yeah, he should have moved off the racing line a lot more. It's an onside corner at the exit of the chicane there. But there you go, your Heat 1 has been won by David Simon, who actually drops down to second place after a 15-second time penalty is applied. Let's see where he does actually end up there. Mike Spalding, I think, is going to be scratching his head after that one. How he got the race victory there after all that happened. So Mike Spalding takes the race win there, and then it is going to be David Simon in second place with Greg Tom in third. Blair McConaughey gets a fantastic fourth place there. Craig Mays all the way down into fifth place, and then Luke Kidsley finishing last in sixth place. We have a retiral, which was of course Keir Riley on lap 3. But ladies and gentlemen, that is Heat 1 done and dusted. We'll take a very quick break, and when we come back we'll have Heat 2 of the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. That noise in the background can only mean one thing then. The cars are back out on track for qualifying for Heat 2. Let's go and join the action then. We've got 7 out of the 10 registered entrants with us. As we see Nate deciding to do a rather... I don't know what really he was doing. Nathan Wilcox there. Can we please have our gravel back? That would be lovely. Right, so another 5-minute qualifying session. The great thing about this is with only 5 minutes you're really pressurised to try and get a lap in very, very quickly. What you'll find with these guys and girls is that they are doing their very, very best to get the tyres warmed up, because when the cars come out of the pit lane, just like in real life, the tyres are absolutely stone cold. The cars are very, very slidey, and without having any sort of aero package on these cars whatsoever, they will move about quite considerably. One of the other features of our championship is the fact that these cars only have 2 setups that they are allowed to use. They are called the default setups. They are the ones that ship with the game. They're not particularly the fastest setups that you will find, but it keeps everything on a level playing field. You have the stable setup, which is very prim and proper. It's very secure. The car feels planted. The car feels very, very nice. But it is slower than the other setup, which is the loose setup. The loose setup is very, very soft. The car will float about on top of the roads, but it is much faster than the stable setup. But it is also more unpredictable and a little bit sketchier. So here we go then, 2 minutes left to go in our second qualifying session of the evening. We have got Mark Dawson currently in 6th place there. I'm pretty sure that will be the same Mark Dawson that we see in the SMRC up at Knockhill. We also have Gary Craig on pole at the moment though. We have Steve Quinn, aka Gunblade 770. With a 55.6 at the moment. We can see the times just a little bit slower. Into the final minute of qualifying here for heat number 2, and it's still the times in the 55.1s. It gives you a little bit of an understanding and an appreciation for the qualifying times that do go in, and I've got to be honest, I'm still absolutely blown away by the time that we saw set yesterday by Aidan Wilson on the Xbox One with his 53-second lap. 53.7 is the time that he managed to put in. But at the moment then, it is currently Steve Quinn on pole position with a 55.103 from second place, which is Gary Craig, 55.7. In third place is going to be Greg MacArthur with a 56.2, and then in fourth place with a 56.5 is going to be, I'll have to have a look actually, is Cole Gaffney. So the reason that there's a slight pause when I'm talking about the drivers here, as you can see on the left hand side here, you get their usernames, their in-game names, and obviously quite often they have absolutely no relevance to their real name whatsoever. Cole's quite lucky because obviously that's his full name, but I've got the list up here. So generic piston, for example, is Osvaldo Andrade, and in 6th place that is Mark Dawson, Hummer, and then in 7th place you have Nate, which is Nathan Wilcox. So there we go, qualifying is complete then. And on pole position it is, I believe it is Steve Quinn from Gary Craig, and then Cole Gaffney in 3rd place. 4th place is going to be Greg MacArthur. 5th place is going to be Osvaldo Andrade, and then in 6th place is going to be Mark Dawson. 7th place, Nathan Wilcox. Without further ado, let's go racing. 7 cars then we have on the grid for race number 2. If you have missed your heat, let us know and we can try and squeeze you into the next ones. But lights are coming on the Beatson's Build Supply Bridge. Off they go. And it's a great start for the first 3 cars. But look, in 5th place, a stunning start there from 5th place there. That was Osvaldo Andrade. Moving up almost into 3rd place already there. But there's contact further behind, and that is 2 cars going down. That is going to be... let's have a look there. I think that's Cole Gaffney. And that is also going to be Greg MacArthur that were caught up in that one. Meanwhile, back with the group at the front, Mark Dawson there getting a cracking start up into 4th place as well. But have a look at Osvaldo Andrade. He is looking very, very good in that car in 3rd place. Do not look past him for getting onto the top 2 steps of that podium right now. But here come your race leaders already down into the hairpin to complete lap number 1. In the lead it is Steve Quinn from Gary Craig as they come up the hill to complete lap number 1 already. Surely not, surely we've not got a drive-through penalty. Indeed we do. Who is that we've got going through the pits? That is Mark Dawson after his amazing start there. Has to go all the way through into pit lane and take a penalty. That is going to be a devastating blow for his race. Mark Dawson then having to drop all the way back to last on the track. There we go. I've got no idea what I did there, but I went to mute my microphone and it gave us some nice little cool drone shot there. I've never seen that before. Fabulous stuff. Right, lap number 3 then in heat number 2. And yeah, this is starting to go off the boil for Osvaldo Andrade. That earlier pace that he had is not manifesting itself. It looks like he is well and truly dropping off the back of that group there. 3 seconds ahead of him right now. But also Steve Quinn is starting to pull the pin right now because he did a 54.8 that last time round and he's got the gap up to a second. So brilliant bit of battling going on. But having a look down here, this is the battle right now between Nathan Wilcox and 4th place there of, let's have a look who is in 4th place, Cole Gaffney of course. Just half a second splitting up those two. Looks like Cole Gaffney getting a little bit of a better exit from that hairpin there, as a huge puff of smoke from Greg MacArthur there as he exits the hairpin. Back with your leaders then, and the gap now 1.5 seconds, and Steve Quinn is absolutely starting to drop second place there. The other thing for Gary Craig is that he doesn't actually need to challenge this. The top 2 qualifiers are the ones who go through. So for instance, that's what made the last race so dramatic, because on that last heat it was Mike Spalding and Dave Simon who qualified right at the last gasp there because of that contact there. And at the moment, as it stands, it's Steve Quinn and Gary Craig who are going to go through to Sunday's final. We see Osvaldo Andrade making a bit of a mistake there, and that's going to bring him into the clutches of Cole Gaffney. And Cole Gaffney has well and truly broken away from Greg MacArthur as well there. So it's starting to ebb and flow quite nicely here on lap 5 out of 12 in this second heat. So as we see Steve Quinn in the lead from Gary Craig. And this is a nice little turn of events for Gary Craig. He likes to refer to himself as an armchair fan. He's normally trackside, so this kind of gets him in and about with the actual racing here at Knockhill. So a very good evening to Gary Craig. Doing very well up in second place. And he is being hunted down as we see Osvaldo Andrade losing third place. And he's going to lose fourth place as well if he doesn't get a move on. No idea what has happened there to Osvaldo. Wonder if he's having a real problem with the track limits and the very strict track limits here at Knockhill. One person we are missing tonight is Lorenzo Turi. I believe he wasn't able to make it into the lobby, and we have actually lost another person there. We're down to 6 cars on here. Cole Gaffney now moving up into third place and just 5 seconds behind Gary Craig. And Cole Gaffney has done a few track days in real life, and he's looking for a bit of competitive fun. I love that in his driver notes, his claim to fame is he won a prize in CBBC and currently has a Blue Peter badge, which is not too bad for the age of 37. Oh, you got to love it. Right, Gary Craig then still in second place, and he is dropping further and further back then into the grasp of Cole Gaffney in second place. But have a look at Steve Quinn. It's been so consistent. 54.8 that last time round. Head and shoulders above anybody else in this heat this time round. And a very good evening to everybody that is watching on Facebook and on YouTube as well. Hope you're behaving yourself. I know what I had fun actually sitting for about half an hour just reading through all the comments that came in last night. We had a comment in from one of the participants tonight, Steve Turner, who was wanting to know if we can put names above the cards. Unfortunately, we can't. That's something that we would have to do in post-processing. We certainly can do for the video, but it's not something we can do right now. We'll see Steve Turner out in force later on tonight. Right, I'm up to speed with the comments that are on. We will get to Heat 5, okay? That's what we're building up for, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be the pièce de résistance of online sim racing. Trust me, it's going to be amazing. Back to Heat 2 though, and we're towards the business end. Lap number 9 is going to be started by Steve Quinn very, very shortly. Gary Craig looking very good as well. But look at that. Look at Cole Gaffney now. That gap is now down to 4.2 seconds between the two of them. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but certainly it was 0.6 of a second faster that last lap round. So if Cole can get close enough so that Gary can see him in his mirrors, if Gary uses them, then that is going to be a little bit of mental jiggery pokery that's going to be going on very, very soon. But there's been no problems whatsoever for that man up front. Steve Quinn looking very, very much in control. Let's have a look at Osvaldo Andrade, because I want to know what has happened to Osvaldo there. He was showing such promise on the start there and for that first 2 laps, and he's really, really struggled with the pace here at Knockhill. And if he's not careful, he's got Mark Dawson, who is not a man you want to see in your rear view mirror, all over his tail. And it's going to be a case of if and possibly when between the two of them. So that is the battle for 4th place. Further down, but back to your race leader then. Lap 10 out of 12 for Steve Quinn. And this has been a walk in the park for him. He's made it look so straightforward. But I can absolutely assure you it is anything but when you're at the front. We've seen it so many times where we've had a very casual race winner and then it all goes horribly wrong in these last 2 laps. I'm going to touch the desk so as not to put the commentator's curse on him. But looking further back, Gary Craig dropping even further back in that gap now to 3rd place of Cole Gaffney. Now just 3 seconds. He's getting closer and closer, but there's only 2 laps to go because Steve Quinn is going to go across the line here and start the penultimate lap of the race here for your 2nd heat in the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. And again, it's the top 2 that qualify and go through. At the moment, as it stands, it's going to be Steve Quinn and Gary Craig that qualify from this heat. And the pressure really now is all on Gary Craig. What can he do to make sure that he keeps Cole Gaffney at bay? I think he's got it, you know. I think he does have it right now because Cole running very wide on the exit of the hairpin there. He's going to have to be very careful that he doesn't get a slow down penalty for that, for exceeding track limits. But none of that matters because your race leader, ladies and gentlemen, is coming up the hill towards the start finish line to start the final lap of the race. And just like that, heat number 2 is about to be in the bag. White flag waved then for Steve Quinn, and he comes down towards Duffus for the final time. That gap now 2.6 seconds between 2nd and 3rd place. Barring any major incidents, Gary Craig looks to have this one in the bag. Your race leader, Steve Quinn, coming up over the crest of the hill at Clark's and along that long back straight here at Knockhill Racing Circuit, the virtual recreation in the heart of Fife in Scotland, is going to be on the anchors for one final time as he pulls the car into the hairpin. Out onto the apex there, beautiful corner, and it's a textbook drive from start to finish for Steve Quinn, who takes the win in heat number 2. 2nd place then is going to go the way of Gary Craig by just 1.8 seconds, and a spirited effort there from Cole Gaffney. Mark Dawson is indeed going to take 5th place. He couldn't quite get on to the back of Osvaldo Andrade there. And there we go, Mark Dawson coming across the line just ahead of Nathan Wilcox. Fantastic race number 2 then in the bags. And a brilliant win for Steve Quinn. So Steve Quinn and Gary Craig going through to Sunday's final. And with that, we're going to take a very short break. When we come back, there'll be more racing action as we get Heat 3 underway here for the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. So guys, we are just a couple of minutes away from qualifying for the next heat. The next heat is going to be heat 3, and qualifying will start in just under 3 minutes time at 7 o'clock. So remember, we will be taking a pause at 8 o'clock to allow all of us to take part in clap for our carers tonight. So we'll pause the broadcast around just before 8 o'clock. We'll encourage you to all take part, and then we'll rejoin for the final race of the evening.
Right.
The dulcet tones of the Formula Rookie taking to the track here at Knockhill in Fife, Scotland. You can see the cars weaving about, trying to get some heat desperately into the tyres. 5 minutes on the clock for qualifying session number 3 of the evening, and we'll pretend that we didn't just see somebody doing an oopsie. That somebody was Cairn Smart. Right then. We were due to have Jake Sanson in this heat tonight. Jake unfortunately can't make it with us tonight, which is It's a bit of a bummer. I was looking forward to seeing him on track here, but he will be hopefully joining us next week. Talking of next week, guys and girls, if you do want to join us, then simply head over to smrc.co.uk and get signed up for next week's event. So let's have a little look at who we have got here for heat number 3. We've got 8 out of the 10 drivers in the server just now. We have got Billy Fraser, Sam McAleer, Isaac Galley, Jeff Wentworth, Kieran Smart. We've got Richard Crozier. I don't think is in the server with us, so I think it's Richard and Jake who we are missing tonight. Carl Lee and Craig Lax, along with Andrew Hollis. And I'm going to give a very big shout out to Jeff Wentworth, aka XX Mega Fox, because they are joining us all the way from America tonight. That's right. So yeah, very, very happy with that. Jeff actually visits Scotland several times every year, and they are hoping to move here to Edinburgh. See what I did there? So very warm welcome to Jeff tonight. Hope you're enjoying the Scottish hospitality. I hope it's not too Scottish, because you might find yourself up in one of the gravel traps later on tonight. So moving swiftly on from that one, back to the action then, and we've got 2 minutes left to go. Let's have a look who we've got at the top of the leaderboards. It's going to be Craig Lax with a 54.9, showing the rest of the guys, and it's really a big spread of times just now, because we've got 5 seconds almost from pole position to 8th place. In 2nd place is going to be Kieran Smart, making up for his moment at Clark's there. In 3rd place is going to be Carl Lee, as you can see just coming across the line just now. And then in 4th place is going to be Billy Fraser. 5th place at the moment is going to be Sam McAleer. And then in 6th place it is going to be Isaac Galley. 7th place is going to be Jeff Wentworth. And then in 8th place at the moment, with still plenty of time to improve on that, is going to be, let's have a look who that is. Is that Andrew Hollis? It is Andrew Hollis at the back of the timing screens there with a 59-second lap. Improves it though to a 57-second lap. So as said, plenty of time, and those times coming closer and closer together. That now leaves that is Isaac Galley at the back of the field, as we see Jeff Wentworth putting himself up into 6th place. Just over a minute to go in the session, so cars that are going to be wanting to come over the line in the next 5 seconds to make sure that they get another lap in here. And this is what I was talking about, the difference between the two setups, the car setups here. We'll go on board with your current pole sitter, that is Craig Lax, having to take a slow down penalty. And I'm wondering if he is going to get time to get a 2nd lap in here. Comes across the hill at Clark's there, weaving about from left to right. I think he is. I think he's going to be okay, because I think it takes around about 20 seconds to get round to the back of the circuit. So what we'll do is we'll take you round for a lap here at Knockhill as he brings the car in towards the hairpin. Swings the car out. He's got 10 seconds. I think he's going to be absolutely fine coming across to the line here. He's going to just make it in for another lap here. So here we go then, on board, onto the anchors on the entrance to Duffus. A very, very steep hill. If you've never been to Knockhill before, that is going to absolutely take your breath away. Slides the car in towards McIntyre's there. Up through the chicane there as well, looking very, very tidy and very fast indeed. Brings the car up towards the hill at Clark's. Very easy to get yourself a slow down penalty, and he has slowed himself down quite considerably there. And all that remains is to put on the anchors for the hairpin. A lot of steering input there, now it's going to cost him quite a lot of time. 54.1 is the time that he's got to beat at the moment. I honestly don't think he's going to do better than that just now. Comes across the line. He does somehow do better. 54.105, and I think that is one of the fastest times that we've had through qualifying tonight. The Nemesis 69, that is Craig Lax taking pole position from Kieran Smart in second place. Carl Lee in third with Billy Fraser in second place. Fifth place is going to be Sam McAleer. Sixth place is Andrew Hollis. Seventh place is going to be Jeff Wentworth. And then at the back is Isaac Galley. 7 cars remain then. And I fear that we have lost Jeff Wentworth, who has accidentally pressed return to Race Central. A great start there for your leader, that is Craig Lax there, but second place moving very, very aggressively over, and that is Carl Lee trying to defend onto his second place. He's going to have the inside line for McIntyres as well. We'll look further back, and it's a 3-car battle right now for second place. Carl Lee is going to have an awful lot of defending to do right now, and it's mayhem behind. We've got a car spinning, and that is Kieran Smart, who has, I believe, spun it. Manages to get going again. In fact, I tell a lie, it was Billy Fraser who spun it at the exit of the chicane there, and all this has allowed Craig Lax to get a very healthy 3-second lead at the start of lap number 2 here. Well, it's all went horribly, horribly wrong there for Billy Fraser and for Kieran Smart there. Both of them have dropped off considerably, although Kieran Smart is going to be the one that can potentially catch back up to this group of 4 cars ahead of him. We are currently focusing on Carl Lee at the moment, as we see Sam McAleer deciding to go and play in the beach instead. You're supposed to keep it on the black stuff, sunshine. That allows then Isaac Galley to move up into third place. And we've got a cracking battle going on behind him as Kieran Smart makes the move into fourth place stick. They're side by side coming along the back straight here, and it's only lap 2. I think slowdown penalties might have been involved in that one, because Sam McAleer takes fourth place, and it's a great move by Kieran Smart. Jinks up the inside there and takes fourth place on lap 2. But it is all about those top 2 positions, remember. It's all about who gets to qualify for the final on Sunday. And just having a look there, I think Kieran Smart actually does have the potential. If he can get himself into third place, get himself some clear air there, he has the potential to catch up to your man in second place there. That is, of course, Carl Lee, who is in second place there. Kieran Smart right on the back of Isaac Galley. He's going to try and cut to the inside for the hairpin there. Isaac Galley has to leave him a little bit of racing room. And is the move already going to be stuck before they get to the hairpin? It is. Absolutely beautiful stuff there from Kieran Smart as he managed to get himself up into third place. Isaac Galley left nowhere to go right now. And this is going to be a very fast lap time. It is 54.4, but have a look at your race leader, ladies and gentlemen. Craig Lax, your first gentleman tonight, going into the 53s. 53.915. We saw it all the way through the final heat on the PlayStations last night. And he is just absolutely away right now. But this is going to be very, very interesting to watch develop as we are on lap 4. Because second place now is only 1.2 seconds ahead of third place. And given that this is the final qualifying spot, this is what it's all going to be about right now. Kieran Smart getting a track limits warning for going over the edge at the hairpin there, and he's going to have to slow down. That's what the little exclamation mark at the top left means for third place. Kieran Smart getting a warning about track limits. But have a look at that, because Carl Lee is getting very, very desperate now, throwing the car sideways into McIntyres. holds on to that because Kieran Smart has a bit of a moment on his own. And look at Isaac Galley in the background as well. He's in with a shout of this. With 7 laps to go here, any one of these 3 drivers could take that final qualifying spot for heat number 3 here. We'll just pretend that 5 minutes hasn't happened then, ladies and gentlemen, shall we? Because I muted myself to take a quick cough into my elbow there and completely forgot to unmute myself. That's what's happened. Thank you very much, Dave Taylor Piggott, for pointing that one out. And somebody going straight off into the hairpin. That is Billy Fraser, who I've no idea what happened there, but his car went off like a rocket into the hairpin there. And that is very, very hard luck for Billy Fraser. And at the back of the grid there, Andrew Hollis trying to bring himself around as well. Kieran Smart, though, the man on the move, 54.664 as your race leader Craig Lax on lap 9 out of 12 makes his way round again. 53.9, that is just stunning, stunning pace from your race leader there. Kieran Smart, I can imagine, is wanting to put as much air and distance between him and Carl Lee after that coming together as he possibly can. We're on to lap 10 then, out of Heat 3 of the PC qualifiers for the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship, and it is still currently Craig Lax out by a country mile from Kieran Smart. Kieran Smart is, to all his credit, firing in some very, very impressive lap times right now, but it just isn't enough to put a serious dent into your leader. multitasking there as we're trying to help a couple of drivers get sorted out for later heats at the moment. Now, what has happened to your race leader Craig Lax? Because he did a 57.6 that last time round. Has he just decided to manage the gap? He has got 11.5 seconds of a lead. But it almost doesn't matter because it's the penultimate lap. So Craig Lax throwing it out of the hairpin in style. He's going to come across the line to start the final lap of heat number 3. And it's been a stellar performance from Craig Lax. He's made it look very, very straightforward. There's not been any issues and he's struggled to have any sort of pressure applied to him whatsoever. Meanwhile, in second place, that is Kieran Smart, who is very fortunate to have come off the better over that battle with Carl Lee. And it's a case of what could have been for Isaac Galley. Brilliant performance by him in third place, but I think he's got a some sort of penalty there, or a drive-through penalty. We'll see in a minute, because possibly a time penalty that he's got there. His name's in red, which does signify that he has got some sort of penalty there. In fourth place, Carl Lee. In fifth place, it is Sam McAleer. And in sixth place, it is Billy Fraser, with Andrew Hollis in seventh. But there we go. There, ladies and gentlemen, is your winner for Heat 3 of the PC qualifying sessions. Brilliant effort there for Craig Lax. Comes across the line. Kieran Smart is out of the hairpin, and it is going to be a qualification for him as well. Kieran Smart takes second place. And down in third, Isaac Galley with a very well deserved third place. Whether or not he gets to hold it is another question, because he does have a time penalty. We'll see in just a second. Across the line comes Carl Lee, and then in fifth place is Sam McAleer. Sixth place is going to be Billy Fraser, and then in seventh place is Andrew Hollis. So there we go. Your two qualifiers from that one then are going to be Craig Lax and Kieran Smart. Well done to them. We'll see them again on Sunday afternoon. And there we go. That is heat number 3 in the bags. We'll take again a very quick break, and we will be back in a couple of minutes' time for heat number 4.
Baby, I'm calling out, save me, I'm going down, take me to another town where I can rest my bones, I can rest my bones safely. Even when I'm together, I'm miles apart. Forever get back to the start. I don't know if I'm broken or if I am just not trying, but we're feeling alive even when we are slowly dying. Shine a mirror on me. See my reflection, who am I really supposed to see? Maybe
get it.
Without further ado then, it is time to go qualifying for the penultimate time tonight. Heat 4 is about to take to the track, and you can see we have got 9 out of the 10 entrants for this heat out on track just now. We'll have a look at the heat card just now. You can see on your screens we have got Bradley Sampson, we've got Alistair White, we've got Ross McGregor, Duncan Steele, Jack Green, Mike Jones, Fraser Williamson, Steve Turner, Joshua Ingram taking part in this heat. This is starting to build up to a crescendo now. We're starting to see some of the names coming into the fray here. You're not going to want to miss heat number 5 coming up in around about 40 minutes time. Just a reminder, we will be pausing in half an hour at 8 o'clock. We'll keep the stream live, but we will pause the broadcast for everyone to take part in the Clap for Our Carers event that is happening nationwide. We'd heavily appreciate if you could get involved with that wherever you are. It was certainly an awesome spectacle here in Dunfermline, opening the window and hearing that. It's fantastic to hear in these very, very strange times that we are in just now. But strange times bring us all together here for sim racing. Heat number 4 is underway and qualifying has got just 3 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. I think it's about time that we get some in-game audio back on the go. And we can do that just now, just by doing that. And I think we'll get rid of the music in the background as well and head over to the circuit then. We have got now 8 folk in the session. I'm trying to have a look at who has dropped off there. So we're currently on board with Jack Green at the moment. Let's have a little look at who we've got then, shall we? So we have got Bradley Sampson, who is a ardent race fan. He was planning to do the production 4x4 this year in its imported Japanese Mitsubishi Evo 6. Obviously that's on hold just now, but he is part of the Motorsport UK AASE Academy down at Loughborough College. So a very good evening to Bradley Sampson. Alistair White is joining us as well. He has been a regular on the Canberra Open Challenge, so we've seen him a little bit. He's got a sim rallying background from the likes of Colin McRae Rally and the likes of that, but he's a little bit rusty on circuit racing. I can tell you that's not true. Alistair has had fantastic pace in the Canberra Open Challenge, where we've done this and many other cars around Knockhill. We've got Ross McGregor as well. He's a bit of a local boy. He's just 10 minutes away from Knockhill and a season ticket holder. He is a motorsport photographer, and you can find him on Facebook, RJM Autosport, and on flickr.com, Ross J. McGregor. He's the reigning double racedepartment.com Mini Cooper champion, as well as a few other online championships. So this is exactly what I mean about the PC guys taking it very, very seriously indeed. Jack Green is also with us, as is Mike Jones, 2020 SLS driver, competing in his BMW E46 M3. He was wanting to compete last year, but didn't get the car finished in time. Now, the awesome thing, the even more awesome thing about Mike... Hang on. Mike Jones, that name does ring a bell. He's obviously a computer games player, but he's a developer. He works for Epic Games, who make Fortnite, and he is actually a gameplay designer working on Fortnite. So, yeah, I'm not going to lie, that's a bit awesome. Kind of in awe of that. Fraser Williamson has competed in the previous SMRC eSports competition. That was on iRacing in the Legends. He has never competed on Project Cars 2 before. Steve Turner, absolutely no idea who this guy is. Never heard of him. I'm all joking. Steve Turner is a legend in Scottish motorsport. He is the owner of Turner Motorsport. Yeah, I'm not going to read out his age that he's given us, and I'm not going to read out the fact that he says he's probably too slow in real life, because he has joined us, and we actually do enjoy, we've got a little monthly club where we end up going to VR simulators in Glasgow. If you've never been, fantastic place. You have to get yourself along there when it opens back after all this blows over and we can head down to the Winchester. But as I said, enjoys sim racing, and definitely one to watch tonight. And Joshua Ingram, who is taking part, passionate sim racer. He is again more used to seeing the likes of iRacing. So that is who you've got, and qualifying now looks like this then. At the top of the timing screens, wow! Where did that time come from there? That is a stunning time from Ross McGregor, 54.108. That is, I think, the second fastest qualifying time that we've had over all 3 days here at the Formula Rookie here at Knockhill. In second place is going to be Fraser Williamson. In third place is Bradley Sampson. Fourth place looks to be Joshua Ingram. 5th place is going to be Duncan Steele. 6th place is, let's have a look there, that is Mike Jones. 7th place is going to be Steve Turner. And then at the back, just on his final lap, comes across the line here, is going to be Jack Ladd, which is Jack Green. So there we go. That is your 8 cars that's going to be taking part in qualifying Heat 4 for the PC. Ross McGregor from Fraser Williamson on the front row of the grid. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get our penultimate race underway. 8 cars taking to the grid then. And it is going to be on the second row. We'll tell you that in just a second because the cars get underway and it's a stalled start there. Where on earth was your race leader of Ross McGregor? Because he wasn't on the race start there, I can tell you that for sure. We've got cars side by side coming down through Duffus. And who is that off onto the grass there? That is Joshua Ingram managing to make a recovery there. But a terrible, terrible start there for Ross McGregor. He was sound asleep at the wheel. As we see one of the cars going off onto the grass. That was Steve Turner all the way up into the heady heights of 4th position there. Slow driver, my behind Mr. Turner, as we've got contact. 2 cars off there, and that is going to be Ross McGregor again involved with Joshua Ingram, and the 2 of them. It has been an absolutely disastrous start to this 4th race here. Back up at the front of the field then, and it's Fraser Williamson who currently leads from Bradley Sampson. That's your 1-2. 3rd place is going to be Mike Jones, and then it is Duncan Steele in 4th place, and it looks like Steve Turner has a drive-through penalty. No idea what's happened there because Master Wolf, which is Bradley Sampson, has also got a time penalty from the looks of it. So it's all been a very, very wild first lap of the race here. As we can see, Duncan still going very wide at the chicane and getting a time penalty as well. And that is almost certainly going to be a slowdown penalty for Bradley Sampson there as well. Duncan Steele though, right on the back of Mike Jones here, makes a move up on the inside there, thinks better of it. Mike Jones holds on to 3rd place for the time being. And there are cracking little battles happening all the way through your penultimate race of the qualifiers for the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. This is, of course, the PC night tonight. So just I can't take my eyes off this battle for 3rd and 4th place right now. I can see obviously we've got Fraser Williamson and Bradley Sampson in 1st and 2nd, but this is riveting viewing right now. Duncan Steele ahead of Mike Jones at the moment. And is Mike Jones going to fall away from Duncan Steele right now? He's got the better exit out of that corner, and a fantastic exit from Mike Jones is going to see him right on the tail of that Formula Rookie. Fantastic drag you can get from the back of these cars as Duncan Steele tries to move one way or the other. They're under side by side under the Beatson's Building Supply Bridge, and Mike Jones takes the place from Duncan Steele, and Duncan Steele's going to get a slowdown penalty from that. There's contact, and Mike Jones just gets his way back onto the track there. And indeed, actually, it's Mike Jones Let's have a look in 2nd place then. Is Bradley Sampson still a 2.5 seconds behind your race leader at the moment? Lap 5 out of 12 here for the penultimate race, and Fraser Williamson has been doing very, very well, putting in some very competitive lap times there. 55.010, but your man on the move is Ross McGregor. He's got all the work to do. 54.281 that last lap round, and he is around about 0.8 of a second faster. He has got 7 laps in which he can do this. If he remains that much faster than your race leader who goes on to lap 5, then this could get very, very interesting very quickly. Mike Jones is falling into the grasp of Ross McGregor right now. Goes across the line just now. What can Ross do? 54.2, so half a second faster than your race leader that last time round. I don't think it's going to be enough, but it's certainly going to shape it up to be a very interesting final 2 laps for Ross McGregor. And you know, he really didn't need to put himself into that position there as Mike Jones recovers from an off at McIntyre's there. That drops him down into 5th place. Steve Turner is in 8th place at the moment. He's hunting down Joshua Ingram. With the gap starting to come down very slightly for your race leader Fraser Williamson, as that is going to be Bradley Simpson taking a very interesting route across the hairpin there, deciding to take one of the cones and steal that for himself. That's not going to do him any favours whatsoever. Now, what has happened to Bradley Sampson there? He's had a moment at the bottom of Duffus. You saw the car creeping into view there of the camera, and he has gone from hero to zero very, very quickly, down from 2nd to 4th place. I wonder if he's just pushing way, way too hard on that car, and it's just not happening whatsoever. Now, we've got a little bit of an argument going on in chat, because according to my entry list, I've got this as Duncan Steele right now, and I do believe it is Duncan Steele. However, we have an adamant person thinking that it is Duncan Vincent, and to the best of my knowledge, Duncan Vincent isn't taking part, and he is on PlayStation. No, actually he's on Xbox, if I remember rightly. So we'll double check that one, but we'll take it as Duncan Steele right now. You've got to love it. You really have got to love it. We'll not do that. We won't quit out the session because we want to see who wins here. So this is going to be very interesting, because if that is who it is being claimed that it is, then in fact there's a very quick way, because I've got my good friend Duncan Steele on chat just now. And we'll just take a quick interlude while I go and actually check. Right, I'm still none the wiser, but anyway, Duncan is being chased down now by Ross McGregor, and Ross McGregor now could see himself with that final qualifying position here. Because Fraser Williamson is pretty safe right now with a 5-second gap over this battle here, and that is very, very wide on the exits of Clark. Surely that is going to be a slow down penalty for Duncan in 2nd place. Ross McGregor eyeing up on the entry to the hairpin. He's only going to have 2 more laps to make that move stick. He thinks better of it. Joshua Ingram now looks to be almost getting put a lap down, as we see Steve Turner really struggling to get to grips with the low downforce on that car. And a big moment there at the exit of Clark's hands. The qualifying position to Ross McGregor on a silver platter. Ross McGregor moves into second place with just 2 laps left to go here. They're going to have to get past Joshua Ingram, and you're going to excuse me if I hold my breath, because we saw what happened last night to our race leader as he tried to get past some lapped traffic. I am absolutely not sure where to look right now, because oh, thank goodness, Joshua Ingram, you absolute legend, moving across to let the racing cars through. He's not involved in that race, so he doesn't want to be in it at all. And it looks pretty comfortable now, right now, for Ross McGregor. 4 seconds now behind your race leader of Fraser Williamson on the penultimate race this evening. So there we go, Fraser Williamson comes across the line to start lap 12, the final lap of the race. Ross McGregor has done a stellar job of getting himself back up into second place there. At the moment it's going to be Fraser Williamson and Ross McGregor who qualify for the final on Sunday, as we see Steve Turner trying to make his way out of the grass there at McIntyre's. But here we go, your race leader Fraser Williamson exits through the complex at Clark's. He's up over the hill onto the back straight here. 1 corner left to go, and it's going to be hard on the brakes in towards the hairpin. Nice apex there, let the car drift out wide, hard on the accelerator, and race number 4 for the qualifying for the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship goes the way of Fraser Williamson. Second place is going to go to a stunning comeback drive from Ross McGregor. Third place is going to be Duncan Steele. Fourth place is going to be Bradley Sampson, who was looking very comfortable in second place up until lap 6 there. Mike Jones, stellar effort from him, 5th place. And then in 6th place is going to be Jack Green, with Joshua Ingram finishing 7th. Steve Turner finishing and retiring the race in 8th place. But a brilliant win there for Fraser Williamson. And there we go, we'll get a little record of that. And a brilliant win for Fraser Williamson. Ross McGregor in second, Duncan Steele in third. It is indeed Duncan Steele, apologies about that. Bradley Sampson in 4th place, Mike Jones in 5th, Jack Green in 6th place, Joshua Ingram in 7th, and Steve Turner retiring from the race. What do you say about that, ladies and gentlemen? Fantastic stuff. And we will take a very short break in just a second, because up next we have arguably the main event. Heat 5 has got some very interesting drivers taking part in it. We'll take a couple of minutes just to look over who we've got coming up next, because, as I said, we'll take a very brief pause in the broadcast at 8 o'clock. We invite everyone to take part in this nationwide event. Clap for our carers. Have a look on social media, how to take part. Simply go to your window, give a loud round of applause, show your appreciation for all of our key workers. Anyway, back to tonight then, and up next we have heat number 5. This is what it's all about. Owen Ross, Connor Robb, John Munro, Jordan Gronkowski, Sean Warrington, Ben Kriener, Darren Scott, and arguably the fastest man on PC Sim Racing, David Taylor Piggott, has it all to do in the final heat tonight. That is going to be coming up in just 10 minutes time. Just after 8 o'clock when we return, you are going to see these heavyweights of sim racing duke it out. John Munro, I know from personal experience, is devastatingly fast. John Gronkowski, we saw in the Camber Open Challenge, taking about 6 out of the 8 wins that were on offer there. Ben Kriener is an incredibly talented young Scottish driver from here in Dunfermline, raced in Euro NASCAR last year. John Gronkowski was your Scottish Formula Ford champion of last year. And David Taylor Piggott, well, we don't need to say anything about him, do we? we will see them all on track in just over 10 minutes time. We'll take a very quick break, we'll pop on some music for 5 minutes, and then we'll mute it just before 8 o'clock, where we all take part in Clap for Our Carers. Guys, if you want to join in for next week, head over to smrc.co.uk. You can get yourself signed up. Xbox One sign-ups are completely full already, completely full. So you can't enter for that, but you can still take part if you are on the PS4 or you are on the PC. Head over there, get yourself signed up, and you could be on here next week. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, as we've been saying throughout the night tonight, we will be pausing the broadcast in about 2 minutes' time while we head outside to show our appreciation for the nation's key workers. We invite you to take part as well in the Clap for Your Carers campaign. We will return at 8:05. The stream will still stay live, so you can just leave it on the background, and we will be back for qualifying 8:05. We're going to get underway with that. And yeah, I'm so excited. It's going to take all of my effort, all of my journalistic integrity to be able to bring this race to you, but I will stick in there, guys, for you. I will jump on that grenade for you guys. In the meantime, we'll take a very brief break and yeah, get to your windows, guys. Well, thank you very much to everyone that took part. And without further ado, let's turn our attention then to the final PC qualifying heat of tonight. And this is arguably one of the biggest races that we're going to have tonight. John Monroe, Jordan Gronkowski, Ben Kriener cannot make it tonight. Well, there's no sign of him anywhere. David Taylor-Piggott, and we have got Richard Crozier, who wasn't able to make it into Heat 3, but we managed to get him into this one. So without further ado, let's get qualifying underway. So there we go then. Owen Ross, Connor Robb, John Monroe, Jordan Gronkowski, Sean Warrington, Dan Scott, Dave Taylor-Piggott and Richard Crozier. Ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, place your bets now as to who you think is going to take the two qualifying spots and the bragging rights for Sunday. What a night we've had. And the cars making their way out onto track just now. So let's go and have a look at them. You can tell I'm slightly excited by this. So gamer tags then, we are on board with Owen Ross, who is wide open throttle 27. Connor Robb is LMP XRC. This guy here. We've got John Monroe, who is John Monroe. John Gronkowski, your 2019 Scottish Formula Ford champion, is Classic J. Rocking the Angel Wax livery on that one. And then Sean Warrington is Warry 25. Dan Scott is Daz 5Q3. And David Taylor-Piggott is David Taylor-Piggott. And then we have got Richard Crozier in here as well. From an earlier heat, wasn't able to join us, has managed to squeeze himself into the final one. Now, we also had, we did have an extra one a little while ago. I'm trying to remember who that was. Lord GT, now, there we go, that's who I was looking for. Lord GT is Lorenzo Turi. He is a professional sim racer for Infinite, the Italian team established in 2015. He's a mechanical engineering student. He loves F1, endurance, 90s super tourers. There you go. So Lorenzo was supposed to be into Heat 2 earlier on tonight, but wasn't able to make it, so we managed to squeeze him into here. We were only going to have 8 cars. We now have 9 cars. Because Ben Kriener can't make it, so we've brought Richard Crozier in here, and we've brought Lorenzo in here as well. Let's have a look at the times going in at the moment. We don't have any just now. We've got one, which is Dan Scott, but that's a 76-second lap. I cannot imagine that is going to last too long at the top of the tables. 2 minutes 45. And yeah, the time's now starting to come in. There you go, Jordan Gronkowski, 55.1. Immediately usurped by our Lord GT. Lorenzo has jumped up to the top with a 54.826. Lorenzo Turi currently setting the pace here. Let's see how Scotland's fastest sim racer is getting on just now. David Taylor-Piggott down in 6th place at the moment, 56.5. We've still got a good 3 or 4 laps potentially in this qualifying left to go. Richard Crozier, and the spread is fantastic on this. 7 cars split by 1.7 seconds right now. David Taylor-Piggott moves up into 2nd place then, 55.082. John Monroe was last, now up into 2nd place, 54.3. So a very, very fast lap there from your man of the Scottish Hill Climbs and Sprints, John Monroe. Also takes part in the MX5 Endurance Series down south. John Gronkowski again into 3rd then, with a 54.869, and your top 7 still split by 1.7 seconds. This is going to be one heck of a race. In fact, look at that. Richard Crozier and Sean Warrington on exactly the same time, 55.0 53.638. Seconds left to go in the final qualifying session tonight for the PC Qualifiers Heat 5 of the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. The gap coming down very, very close now. John Munro just 0.08 of a second off of pole. The pace is incredible from that man. 18 seconds left and the cars are going to have to be very quick in getting one final lap in. I think David Piggott is going to manage to get another one in here. 4, 3, 2, 1. He might be too late. Has he just got in? I wonder. We'll see in just a second. He's been knocked down to 5th place. Anyway, Jordan Gronkowski though, right at the last, 53.885 seconds. The last gasp effort from your 2019 Scottish Formula 4 champion takes pole position in the final race of the night. Sensational lap there from Jordan Gronkowski. Lorenzo Turi in second place as it stands with a 54.234. John Munro currently in third place. We can see Dave Taylor Piggott coming out of the hairpin for the final time. He's going to sneak in one final lap. Can he upset the apple cart? Can Scotland's fastest sim racer do anything right now? He does! David Taylor Piggott moves up into second place there. And you can see just how happy he is. 54.048 for David Taylor Piggott. Jordan Gronkowski though, showing how it's done. 53.885. 54.234 for Lorenzo there in third place, Lorenzo Turi. John Munro in fourth place. It is Owen Ross in fifth. Richard Crozier in sixth place. Seventh place is going to be Sean Warrington. And then it is Dan Scott and it is Connor Robb in ninth place. Here we go then, the final race of the night. I am literally on the edge of my seat. John Gronkowski starts on pole. The lights come on the Beatson Build and Supply Bridge. They hold and they're away. David Taylor Piggott gets a lightning start. He's going to be side by side with Jordan Gronkowski for the lead going into turn one. Oh, and there's a little bit of contact there as John Gronkowski struggles to stay onto the racing line. He's really, really struggling. These car tyres are very, very cold right now as Lorenzo Turi is all over the back of John Gronkowski, and this is leaving David Taylor Piggott to run away right now. But look at that, John Gronkowski makes a move on the inside of Clark's. He's got it. John Gronkowski takes the lead again, and David Taylor Piggott is on his tail right now. They're side by side as they come along the back straight here. I was not expecting this. Lorenzo Turi in the mix as well. John Gronkowski gets a slowdown penalty. Lorenzo Turi on the inside forces David Taylor Piggott out wide, and Lorenzo Turi takes the lead. What a sensational opening lap here on the final race for the SMRC PC qualifiers here. Lorenzo Turi from David Taylor Piggott, and then in third place is Jordan Gronkowski. Fourth place is Owen Ross. Wow! This is what sim racing is all about, ladies and gentlemen. 4 cars battling for the lead, soon to be 5, as John Munro has certainly got the pace to be up there with them. John Gronkowski looks like he might be getting another slowdown penalty. He does, and that means that Owen Ross moves up into third place. John Gronkowski moves down into 5th place as well as John Munro moves up into 4th. Meanwhile, this is back with your leaders. Lorenzo Turi is soaking up all the pressure that David Taylor Piggott can throw at him. But look at that, John Munro! This is going to be the guy to watch, ladies and gentlemen. That car in third place. The pace that he has got right now is going to be just stellar. Absolutely stellar. Look at that, 53.804 from John Munro on lap number 2. What on earth is going to happen? We've got 9 laps left of this. I don't think my little heart can take this. So the two leaders then come through the chicane, and that is going to be a slowdown penalty for David Taylor Piggott. He's gone wide at the exit of the chicane, and that means that Lorenzo Turi can stretch away and bring a gap of over a second. And that now drops David Taylor Piggott into the clutches of John Munro. Let's have a look further back then, because Lorenzo Turi is away, and there is David Taylor Piggott having to defend furiously from third place of John Munro. This is going to bring back Owen Ross into the battle as well. John Munro, I think, is going to back off a little bit and take that fight another day from David Taylor Piggott. Gets a better exit down the corner at Duffus. They're both on the brakes, and it's almost side by side. They're joined at the gearbox of David Taylor Piggott's car there. The two of them showing incredible pace right now. This is exciting, nail-biting stuff here from the SMRC eSports Spring Challenge. What is going to happen next with this battle for second place? David Taylor Piggott throws the car in sideway. John Munro gets a much better, much smoother exit out of the hairpin there. And they go across the line to start lap 5. Look at that battle in the back though. That is... who was that? That was Dan Scott and Richard Crozier involved in that battle up towards the line here. So there's David Taylor Piggott now with John Munro all over his gearbox, but they're both starting to bring back Lorenzo Turi, and very quickly this is now again becoming a 4-car battle for the lead with just 7 laps left to go in this final heat of the night. This by far, over the 3 days that we've had, this has been the most incredible race already, and we're only 5 laps into it. John Munro with a stunning run out of Clark's. David Taylor Piggott's going to take the inside line for the hairpin, late on the brakes. What can he do? John Munro tucks back inside, gets a better run. David Taylor Piggott on the gravel on the exit of Clark's. He's going to have to make Owen Ross go the long way around, and he does. David Taylor Piggott dropping down from 2nd place to 4th place. And that was pressure. That's all it was. The pressure from John Munro behind him. What can David Taylor Piggott do to try and catch up? What can John Munro do? I honestly think he's got the pace to catch up Lorenzo Turi up in 1st place there. The gap now 1.2 seconds between 1st and 2nd place, and it does look like Dave Taylor Piggott is getting dropped back by your race leader, by 2nd place of John Munro, and by 3rd place of Owen Ross as well. And it'll be nothing but frustration and anger right now, because that young man has put so much effort into training for this event. So much practice. He's hosted numerous sessions for the community, and right now he's been left shortchanged down. In 4th place, he goes flying over the crest at Duffus, and David Taylor Piggott has a huge moment there. He's completely lost control of the car, facing wrong way at the exit of McIntyre's, and that is going to drop him down even further. David Taylor Piggott has really had a race to forget here right now. And I think that he's just been shown the door as well. In fact, no, that was David showing the door to Richard Crozier. In the meantime then, back with your race leader and your battle for 2nd place, because John Munro now being caught by Owen Ross. That last lap was a 53.8 for John Munro, but look at Owen Ross. He is in the slipstream of John Munro. This is the battle now for the final qualifying place in Sunday's final for the PCs. Owen Ross just, you got to feel like he's biding his time. He's so close to John Munro, and the two of them are putting in stellar lap times. John Munro obviously having some sort of problem on that last lap round. 56.0 for John Munro and a 54.7 for Owen Ross there. Starting to stretch out a little bit now, and I wonder if John Munro's going to find his feet. back with David Taylor Piggott down in 5th place because he's got John Gronkowski now trying to hunt him down as well. John Gronkowski on the pace, 54.0 that last time round. It's only going to be a matter of time before him and Richard Crozier catch up to the back of David Taylor Piggott. And we can breathe a little bit now because that gap's starting to eke out a little bit between Owen Ross and John Munro in 2nd place then. Your race leader, Lorenzo Turi, is just brilliant. He's off into the distance just now, 2 seconds. But I think that gap's going to come down because John Munro is about half a second a lap faster than your race leader. We have 3 laps left to go next time round. Oh no! David Taylor Piggott his nightmare continues. He's now down in the 7th place. Another moment at the top of Duffus sees him spinning down the bottom of the hill. And that is goodnight Vienna for David Taylor Piggott's chances. He will not be going through to Sunday's finals right now. John Munro is catching the leader. 1.9 seconds is that lap last time round. 53.8 from 2nd place of John Munro. It's a 54.1. He was 0.3 of a second faster that last time round. Is it going to be enough? I don't know, because it might be enough to put some sort of pressure on Lorenzo Turi. Having a look further down then, Sean Warrington down in 8th place with that is Connor Robb, who is looking a bit worse for wear. I'm going to be honest, there's not much scrap value left in that car. I don't think WeBuyAnyCar.com are going to be interested in it either. Your race leader then goes out of the hairpin for the penultimate time to start lap number 11. In fact, sorry, next time will be the penultimate time. Got to get my maths right, don't I? John Munro gets another slow down penalty, bringing him right into the grasp of Owen Ross yet again. And it could be a ding-dong battle for this final qualifying position between these two. I definitely don't know what more you could want from a sim race. This has just been one of the best battles that we've seen throughout the week so far. And here's hoping that Sunday is going to provide all of the action that we crave from these past couple of days. John Munro makes his way into the hairpin again, but Lorenzo Turi is going to come across the line under the Beatson's Building Supply Bridge to start his final lap. He's avoided all the pressure from the hard charging John Munro. Owen Ross in 3rd place could change everything. He's 0.7 of a second behind 2nd place. John Munro pushing that car to within an inch of its grip limits right there. Owen Ross just looking smoother, more concise, more controlled with that car. I think he went a little bit wide on the exit of the chicane there, and he might actually have a slowdown penalty. Indeed he does. That's going to drop him a second back. And meanwhile, your race leader for the final time tonight in the final race of the week here. It's going to be the last time we're here at Knockhill, round the hairpin for the final time. Lorenzo Turi strikes up the accelerator. The roller, the Formula rookie, weaves from side to side, and it's a race win for Lorenzo Turi. 2nd place for John Munro on his first ever competitive online race here on Project Cars 2. 3rd place for Owen Ross. 4th place goes to Darren Scott. John Gronkowski finishes in 5th place. And then it is, in fact, Jordan gets moved down to 6th place with a time penalty. Richard Crozier in 5th place. And it is Scotland's fastest sim racer finishing a lowly 7th place for David Taylor Piggott. And then in 8th place, Sean Warrington. And then in 9th place is Connor Robb. Well, I need to go and calm down after that, because that was just amazing. An amazing, amazing race and a fantastic win for Lorenzo Turi, our guest who couldn't make it into a previous heat. John Munro takes 2nd place there, And what a fantastic race. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you have enjoyed this evening's broadcast as the cars make their way into pit lane. And we will turn that off for just now. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, I hope you've enjoyed tonight's broadcast. I've been David Christie. This has been the SMRC Esports Racing Spring Championship. As mentioned all throughout the broadcast, please come and join us next week. Sign-ups are open for round 2, which is going to be the Renault Clio Cup at Oulton Park. It's free to enter. As long as you've got a copy of Project Cars 2, then you can sign up and join us on the grid next week. It's going to be Oulton Park International. All of the qualifying sessions are going to be televised, but our focus turns to Sunday. The qualifiers all making their way through to the final on Sunday evening. So join us for that broadcast. We'll be announcing the finalists again over the next 24 hours. In the meantime, have a fantastic weekend. Look after each other, and we will see you on Sunday.